You ever sat there and watched a collective piece of cinema and had critical thoughts about the presentation in front of you? You sat there and watched yourself and thought, man, this director doesn't know what he's doing. This guy's a flippin' flappin' idiot, dude. Who put this guy in charge? Honestly, I could make a better movie than this guy. What's he think he's doing? You ever had those thoughts? Well, boy, do I have some good news for you. Thanks to artificial intelligence and generative, innovative technologies, you now have the power of being your very own director.
Well, looks like we got a new king of video.
Now, there are obviously two very, very polarized sides to this coin. On one hand, you essentially are talking about the death of an entire industry. One of the greatest societal and cultural achievements, one could argue, at least as far as America is concerned, is the birth and creation of a little thing known as Hollywood. Hollywood has become one of the most ubiquitous, powerful propaganda agenda monopolizers out there. It has pushed narratives, it has broken down boundaries, and it has set the stage for our modern culture to be what it is today. In as little as maybe roughly 20 years ago, let's say, if you were to go around the streets and just shout to the people, to the masses all around, that the death of Hollywood was imminent, people would have written you off immediately. They would have thought you're just another lunatic preaching and doomsaying on the good old-fashioned streets. But that was 20 years ago. And my oh my, how much has changed in 20 years. Because now no longer are you considered a madman for rambling on and on about the death of Hollywood. Not when Google VO2 exists. If you recall, we semi-recently spoke on this very issue as well, from the point of the labor unions and what the unions were doing in regards to these happenings, as you were. SAG-AFTRA. Now, that is actually a rather common name that a lot of people who are miles and miles away, detached from the union, know of. It's a very, very common household name. And it's one of the most prolific and profound unions in the entirety of our nation. They wield a lot of influence, they wield a lot of resources, and they wield a lot of say. To be able to topple a union like SAG-AFTRA is no easy feat. And it speaks of the profound level of innovation that this stuff is. Yet again, it's so easy for the layman to just immediately write all this off and just think, you know, it's all pie in the sky, it's all cloud nine thinking, who cares, it's not affected me and my job. But people don't recognize how big the tsunami is until it comes ashore and gobbles them up.
But then the inquisitive amongst you might recognize something here. That if this is truly the doom and gloom of an entire industry, and if one of the biggest and most prolific, powerful unions designed, evolved, and created to fight this very thing can't even stop it, and if we are simply going to displace tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of full-time employed people in an instant, overnight, then what good could possibly come from this? How is it that there could be any positivity in this dark and gloomy, stormy cloud at all? To me, it doesn't seem like there's any silver lining anywhere to be found.
And this is the time and the place where the philosophers take a step into the center stage and present their arguments. Because the thing is as it currently stands, there really isn't practically, in tangible reality, any actual positivity to speak on the matter. As far as it currently stands, right here, right now, in this era of 2025, it's nothing but doom and gloom. It is all negativity. It is turmoil, chaos, agony, and strife at its finest. And therein lies the beauty. You see, true ugliness, true disgusting, rotten corruption comes from stagnation. And if we are to become stagnant, well, shame on us, honestly. The thing is yes, this is going to churn the waters, as it were. This is going to stir the pot. This is going to make for some interesting bumpy rides. But out of this innovation comes a new innovation, a new way to communicate, a new way to foster community, a new way to cultivate friendships and creativity, all at the exact same time, simply by texting a prompt to an AI. Think about it practically for a moment, if you will. Let's say you're part of a corporate team, and every single day you have a meeting going over the goals of your designs, the goals of your ambitions, the goals of the team at large. Well, instead of just making another boring PowerPoint presentation, what if now you decide to wow your boss, you decide to wow your managers and your colleagues with a cute little 4-minute video, completely generated by AI, completely voiced by AI, completely acted on by AI. But it still gets the same poignant message across. It conveys your thoughts, your goals, your ambitions, your feelings, where you stand on things. It's going to be a powerful tool in the corporate world. But more than the corporate world, think about it within your own friend group. Think about it within your social circles. If I can pull up my smartphone and promptly generate a movie on demand in whatever design, in whatever way, with whatever themes or narratives that I so desire, imagine the social implications that arise when you apply something like that to your friend group. Now, obviously, the common way that most people are going to think of this is think of all the memes. Think of the memes that everybody makes and everybody shares with each other. You know you do it. I know you do it. I know I do it. We're all guilty. All right, let's not pretend like it doesn't happen, okay? So, imagine the power and the creative freedom that this technology is going to give into the hands of the layman. You don't have to be a technical director. You don't have to be a classified cinematographer. No longer do you have to go and study at the Juilliard School of Arts for 4 years just to know how to pontificate in front of a camera. None of that is required. None of that is necessary. All that's required is you knowing how to type on a keyboard. That's it. I think this technology is going to open the world for a lot of disenfranchised, discounted people. I think people who have never even considered the ability to afford the chance to produce video. Their hands are now opened. The handcuffs have been taken off, and they are now able to do what they so desire. This is going to open the doors for a lot of people. But this is also going to close the doors on a lot of people at the same time. And the question, obviously. So we land at the point of our discussion for today. Are you going to be one of the disenfranchised who is now having their veritable handcuffs taken off, and you are now able to utilize your creative originality all on your own? Or are you going to be one of those huffy, stuffy, stereotypical traditional types who's going to become disenfranchised by this innovation? Are you going to allow it to simply steamroll over you and absolutely dominate your existence, your career, and your mindset, so that therefore you can go out and play the victim card? I obviously and honestly certainly hope not. But the thing still remains. Where do you lie with this technology? Have you looked into it yourself? Have you considered utilizing it in your day-to-day? And what do you think you would do with it if you had completely unfettered access? If it was just right there at your fingertips instantly, without any trouble at all? Would you go and access it right now? Would you utilize it today? And how would you utilize it? In what ways would you apply it to your friends, your family, and those around you? Well, aside from that, it's a beautiful day out. I gotta go enjoy it, and I hope you do the same as well. Until next time, friends.